Hello guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Claire, this is Polly Put the Petal On, and today I'm coming to you with the Q&A. My answers to your questions. I'm quite nervous about this, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why. I think, yeah, it's being put on the spot, isn't it? And also it's quite, I feel as if it's quite, I'm going to enjoy it, I'm pretty sure, because it's going to be a chatty video, and you know me, I really do like a good natter. But I feel it's quite self-indulgent, really, you know. But you know, let's just do it. So I've got the questions that you asked, and I've put them on my laptop here. So I think I'll start with, because I've had some lovely questions, and I've even, you know, there's been a question really where I'm wondering to myself, I really don't know the answer to that, but we'll come to it. So, and I was going to do it sat on my settee, so we were all like in a comfy zone and stuff, but I'm comfiest here at the table, because I'm on the spot. You know, I really need to stop being a cringe person, don't I? Right, so let's start with, because you know, there's some heavy questions and there's some light-hearted questions, and of course I prefer the light-hearted questions, but right, so I'm going to start with Susan Davey. Susan Davey asked, why did you start your channel, and how difficult was it, and how would you like to see it going forward? I've got something similar to that as well, which is by Karen Mallet. Hi Karen. She sent a question pretty similar that said, what made you start your YouTube channel? So I'll just answer those both in the same answer. Can you tell? Can you tell I'm nervous? So, okay, I started my YouTube channel just over 2 years ago. I think it was May. And it was during that first lockdown. And it wasn't the lockdown that done it. I'd toyed with this idea for quite some time. You know, I'd been diagnosed with my heart condition. It's a genetic heart condition, but I hadn't developed the condition till, you know, I was in my 40s. I'd always had the gene, but not the condition. So I'd had that, and then I'd had a hysterectomy, and I thought, oh, what the hell is it? You know, is this it? Is this all there is? You know, and I have other health issues. I'm not going into them. I'm not gonna go into those. So. You know, I thought there's more to life. I need to be part of something, and I wanted to be part of something. I'd also been to, I'd finished off my floristry, you know, I'd already done level 1 back when I was 17, and then in my 40s I did 3 units of level 2, and I thought, I wonder whether I could combine the two together. And it has expanded, of course it has, because I do all sorts on my channel, as you know. It's a lifestyle channel, but that was initially, and initially I was going to do it with Kim, who now has her own channel, Make with Millie, she's my best friend, and you know, we were going to do it together, but Kim, you know, she'll be the first to admit she's always late. She's shocking, she really is shocking. You know, and we do have quite a joke about it. And so she, you know, she wasn't offering up any ideas or anything. And then one day I was just at the table and I was doing a wreath, and I thought, I don't know why I don't film this and then, you know, put it up on a YouTube channel. I thought of my name, Polly Put the Petal On, and you know, Polly is one of my nicknames, and Petal On was a play on words because I'm a florist. So I thought Polly Put the Petal On, and I thought that'll be great. So yeah, I started it because midlife midlife really, and wanting to be part of something. And so yeah, and I do feel, and I really do now feel part of something, you know, and that's down to all my subscribers, all of you that get involved with whatever I bring to you on any given video, you know, all your communication with me, you know, your comments that you leave, and your questions that you ask and stuff, and even the emails that you send. And so I do feel part of something, and it's a lovely community to be part of. So yeah, that's why I started my YouTube channel, just because I thought, what the hell, what the hell, just there's got to be more to life than this, you know. So with that was answering Karen and Susan, and it wasn't difficult at all, Susan. You know, I got my son had a camera, and he let me prop it up on the table while I did my wreath. He started, you know, he set the actual page up, the Polly Put the Petal On channel up. And moving forward, I just want to continue doing what I'm doing with a few more frills on top of that, because I get great pleasure out of doing YouTube. I really do. Sometimes it's frustrating, especially when you're trying to edit or even upload, or, you know, and say there's gremlins like there was yesterday. It took hours for my video to go across. It can be time consuming, you know, but I absolutely love doing what I do. And if you are considering yourself becoming a YouTuber, just go for it. I would. And the greatest advice that I would give you, because I go back and look at my earlier ones where I'm very nervous and I'm stuttering, stammering. I still stutter and stammer now. I think that's part of fibromyalgia. But the thing that I said to myself was, Claire, this isn't live. It's not live, and it's your choice as to whether you post it. And that just sorted my nerves right out. And so then I started settling down into it, because it's not, unless you choose to go live, it's not live. And so if you are considering it, do yourself a little mock-up video and say to yourself while you sat there talking, you know, it's not live. No one can see what you're doing at that given time while you're doing it. And it's up to you whether you then post it, you know, upload it. So yeah, so that's that. That's all there is to say on the matter. So then I think I need to put my glasses on, and because even to see you today, my eyes are quite bad. So I'll put my glasses on, and they're not really my glasses. I don't know who the hells they are, but I seem to have acquired them. I still haven't found those glasses. Absolutely useless. Pam Bell sent me hi Pam Bell sent me a question. What am I going to do with the golden lantern that I bought from Aldi's, because she has one herself and she wants some ideas. Do you know, I've not done anything with it at the moment. I think I'm waiting for, I was going to do it like something summery in it, but I'm not associating it. My mind's not letting me go there. And so I think I'm going to wait now till autumn, Christmas, something like that. But rest assured, Pam, I will be doing something with it, because it's a beautiful space inside. And I will definitely be, you know, using it to its potential. And I'm just sorry that I'm dragging my heels with it. When I came off holiday, I was lacking inspiration entirely. And I can't honestly say that I've got any floral inspiration in me at the minute either, really. But I am working on a project, something that I'm teaching myself. I don't know whether I've said that to you before, possibly. Something that I'm teaching myself, but then you know, last weekend I went gung-ho at it, and then suddenly I've stopped. But then we've had that weather, like yesterday, you know, I came in and I just couldn't move for that. I didn't even eat any proper dinner. That very for some reason my mind wants to call it powerful sun. That very hot weather we've just had, it's a lot better today, guys, and it's you know, it's really much welcome. So yeah, Pam, I will get to it. I really will. Patricia Lloyd, how long have you had fibromyalgia and do you know what triggered it? And then there's another question on fibromyalgia, which is from Insanely Crafty, and she asks, how do I cope with fibromyalgia? What meds do I take? How do you cope on a daily basis? What activities do you find you're able to do? And what do you struggle with? I'm not on any medication. I've tried 3 lots of medication. No, I'm telling a fib. I've got the 3rd lot of medication to try upstairs. That's, you know, it's there, but I'm scared of it. I'll be honest. I'll tell you the backstory of it. In 2019, I got out of a lift, and I mean, I think, to be honest, I think on and off over the years, I have had fibromyalgia. I had a coil fitted years ago because I suffered really bad periods, and we're talking terrible. I had to wear, in too much detail I know, but incontinence pads, and I'm talking big ones. It was ridiculous. So they fitted me with a coil, you know, and when I bled all the way through the 6 weeks, and I was so uncomfortable with it. So my GP took it out. The consultant at the gynecologist put it in, but I suffered with it. So the GP took it out, and that day that I had it fitted by the consultant, the gynecologist, he had asked me had I had a pit. I said no, I haven't. I said you know, it's due today, but it's not arrived yet. Anyway, 6 weeks later, I was having it 6 or 8 weeks, I can't remember exactly, but it wasn't long after, and it was being taken out, and yeah, there was something on the end of it, shall we say, and it was quite possibly a pregnancy. So I then, you know, went into a bit of a meltdown sort of thing. You know, this isn't a sad fishing channel, so I'm not going to dwell on things. So I'll just quickly. So from there on out, I became really tired all the time. You know, walking the dog. We used to, me and Alf used to go round a certain park in our town, which was 3 miles, something like that, every day with Mary, my friend. But at that time, it was almost a similar time as well to me being diagnosed with my heart condition. And I can remember trying to walk up one of the hills, and I said to Mary, I can't, I just don't know what's wrong with me. And so I think, you know, I've always had something from that time. And then in 2019, I was getting out of a lift and the floor was moving, and I thought, oh, this is a bit strange. It really was moving, you know, the floor, and I sat down, and, you know, given time, it stopped. That was in the June. In the July, I then went to Lanzarote, and in that week, the floor started moving again, and I thought, oh, because I'd told Mary about it, and Mary said, oh, that's happened to me, it's because I was in a lift. So I thought, oh, it must have just been because I was in the lift. So when I was in Lanzarote, it happened again, and I thought, oh, it must be just because I've been on a plane. And then in the August, I was walking in at a maker's market, and I'd gone down one side, and I'd stopped at the end, got myself a snack, a big cheesy hot dog, because I wasn't on a diet, big cheesy hot dog, and then I just started to walk down the next side, and my brain literally span, and I obviously dashed my arms out, and Carl was there, and he thingy, but I just stood shaking my head saying, I couldn't walk, my legs didn't want to walk, and it took quite some time to get well enough to get home, you know. And from there on out, I just got much worse, you know. in the end, they discovered, yes, I'd got vertigo. So I'd got, it's that benign vertigo, BPV, BP something. Benign vertigo I'd got, so I had to go and have the crystals reset in my ears, which did help. But it was like, that was it, you know, my body just wasn't happy at all. My legs didn't want to walk, you know, they would burn the backs of my hands. It just started off like there was lemonade in my hands, and then they, you know, as time progressed, they burn. That's a telltale sign with me when I'm getting a fibromyalgia flare. That and period pains, and I've had a hysterectomy, but I still get bad period pains when I'm having a fibromyalgia flare, which is bizarre, isn't it? Because there's nothing there, nothing at all there. I've had everything taken away, so that is bizarre. So yeah, I started to get pins and needles up my, there's a calf, not the calf muscle at the back, but in your calf at the front, the muscle at the side of your shin bone. I used to get pins and needles. Anyway, long story short, I saw a neurologist, because I felt drunk all the time, and he said, you know, how are you when you wake up in the morning? Are you refreshed? And I said, I'm absolutely knackered. And so he diagnosed me with something called functional neurological disorder and chronic fatigue syndrome. Functional neurological disorder is some kind of trauma that's happened in your life, you know, that's locked in there, that then makes your brain misfire and send the wrong messages to your body. So I was distraught. I was absolutely distraught. And I said to my doctor, who'd been my doctor for 30 odd years, you've got to help me, please help me. I really was distraught in his office. Hang on. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was most upset, and I begged him to help me. I said, you know, what could possibly, because my legs wouldn't walk, you know, they just wouldn't cooperate. It was as if there was a tennis ball in the base of my back. Now this, you know, that was the feeling in the base of my back, but it was as if a magnet was pulling me back on my hips, that was stopping my legs from walking. Most bizarre feeling I've ever felt. And I said, what possibly could have happened in my life to, you know, because I you know, I've spent a lot of years in therapy, because I already knew a lot, you know, I know a lot, well, I know everything that happened in my life that led me to that therapy. So I said, what possibly else could have happened? And I kept going back and seeing my doctor, and he said to me, I don't think this is functional neurological disorder. He said, I think this is fibromyalgia. And I went, what? Do you know, I felt really embarrassed to be diagnosed with fibromyalgia, because I'd always seen it just like everybody else sees it, or every other body sees it. It's, you know, it's got a negative tag to it. And I'm ashamed, really, of that. I mean, even now, I sometimes battle with myself over it. You know, fibromyalgia is real, you know. My sister suffered it, our Donna suffered it terribly, but I just used to think, because our Donna was a little minx at times, and, you know, I just thought, it's just a bloody excuse, you know, but it's not an excuse at all. And so I felt embarrassed, you know, I felt ashamed that I'd got this fibromyalgia tag. I was convinced it was something else. I paid for my own blood tests, you know. I thought it was hypothyroidism, but that came back clear, and there's no avoiding it, you know. I've even questioned it with Kim the other week, you know, how much of it is menopause, because that is the thing that I think triggered it off this second time. You know, I'd been tired from that coil, but then I had the complete hysterectomy where everything was taken away. Because it had to be, and so I was in a surgically enhanced menopause, and so I thought, oh, you know, like I say, I said to Kim the other week, how much of this could possibly be menopause? And it is quite possible. There's a lot of things, but then it's that burning in the backs of my hands, you know, this the cold, you know, being so sensitive to cold, handling cold things, the pain that I get from handling cold things is unreal. You know, if my feet get cold, it goes up my legs and then it sets into my bones, and then I've got terrible fatigue. The fibromyalgia really has got me, and that's why I can't bear the cold. And so it's a difficult one, and I don't know how I cope with it. I'll be honest. I just when I get it, I just deal with it the way that I can, which is 9 out of 10 times I'm on the settee, can't move. I hate it. Stops you from doing things. You know, your brain says to you, you know, I really want to do X, Y, Z. Your body says you're absolutely doing nothing, you know, and it's so debilitating. And it's not very pleasant, and it's not very pretty either, you know. I mean, especially if I'm having a really bad fatigue. You know, there's times on camera where I've felt absolutely dreadful, and I've not said anything. In my earlier days, when I was doing a big autumn piece in a box, and I start off that side of the table while I'm doing it, and then I'm hit with the fatigue and a fibro flare, and then you don't see me again, and I'm sat, when I show you the finished thingy, I'm sat this side of the table, and it's because, you know, I'm so poorly. But I'm embarrassed to say, I'm not embarrassed to say now that I'm having a flare or I've had a flare or something like that, but I'm not one of those people that's going to come on and show you me in my sick bed, because that's just not me, you know. People say, oh, it's real life. Yeah, it is real life, but YouTube for me is an escapism. I don't want to bring fibromyalgia to my channel, really. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to sit here and say, woe is me. I just don't. I think it's just not me, you know. And I know that, you know, I have hypertrophic cardiomyopathy as well, you know, my heart condition. I've got a defibrillator in my chest. It's not something that I feel I need to shout about. When I lost my sister to the heart condition, I said that I would do a video on hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and I still might further down the line, but it's in no way for sympathy. If I can save one life with it, you know, it's not for me to sit there and say, woe is me, you know. It literally is just to highlight it. You know, there's so I'm going to stop going on now, because I think I've said enough. And what activities do you find you're able to do? Well, you know, whatever I can do with one thing, I can't do with the other, because I've got hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. I get breathless talking with cardiomyopathy. You know, sometimes my legs don't function because of the fibromyalgia, but even if they did, I couldn't walk very fast anyway, because I get breathless because of my heart condition. So it's trying to find a balance, and you know your own limits, don't you? You know your own limits, and that's what you do. So I think we've been on this question long enough. Well, that was 2 questions, so I apologize for that. So let's go on to something a little bit. Maxine Georgina, love Maxine. Hi, Max. What was your most embarrassing moment? Do you know what, Max? I've had so many, I couldn't possibly name one. And I don't think I'm going to, because, you know, they were terrible. So yeah, I think I'll leave that. I might tell you in private, but no, I'm not about to disclose any of those. You know, before I've led a colourful life, let's just say, you know. Yeah, so we'll just leave it at that. Do you, and it's Maxine again, do you have a guilty pleasure? Dallas. Dallas, the 1980s. Well, it was 1978 it was first aired, wasn't it? I absolutely love Dallas. In fact, you know, my friend's mum, my best friend's mum at the time, she wrote the lyrics to the signature tune of Dallas, and I still know it now. And it, you know, I've got all the DVDs of Dallas. I love Dallas. Yeah, I love JR, Sue Ellen, Jock and Miss Ellie. You know, Pam was my favourite. I always wanted to be Pam, you know, when if we ever played Dallas when we were kids. So yeah, that's my guilty pleasure is Dallas, and I do have them on DVD, and I will sit and watch them. I love JR. And Sue Ellen, where, you know, where she's always got a drink. When she only had to look at a drink, she'd be like, oh, wouldn't she? So yeah, I love it. Favourite YouTubers and least favourite YouTubers. Well, I'm not gonna say my favourite YouTubers or my least. I'm not gonna single anyone out, but you know, we all have our favourite genres, don't we? So I think my favourite genres are lifestyle, which is pretty much what I do, floristry, anything to do with flowers, wreath making, cooking. Love cooking shows, I really do. I watch a lot, and I watch a lot of random stuff. You know, I do watch suggested videos. I don't know about anybody else, but that's how you find more YouTubers, isn't it? If you can hear anything, it's Alfie having a drink in his bowl. So yeah, he's really lapping that up. Yeah, so I have favourite genres and I have not so favourite genres. So that, yeah, I hope that's answered your question, Maxine. Your questions, Maxine. You're a bugger, you are. Right, now this is one of the questions that I was nervous about, and it's by Sarah Tooth, or Sarah Tooth. I'm not too sure because it's S-A-R-A, there's no H, so it's either Sarah or Sarah. What is your advice for someone my age, Sarah's 22, in my generation today? Do you know what, Sarah, I haven't got any advice in you know, for the way the world is. I don't think any, well, you know, it's all uncertain, isn't it? Everything seems to be uncertain, apart from the fat cats get fatter, you know. But you know, we're living in an economic crisis, and everything seems to be uncertain. So I really don't, and plus the fact I'm not a massive motivational speaker. I don't know loads of stuff, the ways of the world and stuff. But for my children, you know, that what I say to my children, one's 20 and the other one's 19, you know, and they're only little bits, you know. Obviously I guide them, I'm their parent, but you know, I always say, be true to yourself, you know. Don't let any naysayer knock you off your axis and make you become somebody else, somebody that you're not, you know. Always say what you mean, but more importantly, you know, mean what you say. And again, with the naysayers, you know, if you've got something in your heart that you want to do, go and do it, or find a way to do it. And planes, and don't let those naysayers put you off. Just go and do it. You know, my daughter, you know, she started off wanting to be a beautician, and she did level 2 beauty therapy, and she passed with distinction. She was absolutely amazing at it. But then she got in a relationship, an unsavoury relationship, and she left college. And then on a whim, you know, she went to Lanzarote, come back, decided that, you know, she was going back to Lanzarote, but you know, I must admit I was a naysayer, and I said, don't be so ridiculous. And then she come downstairs and said, I'm going to be cabin crew, and she, within a month, she was, you know, employed as cabin. Well, she was on a training course for a month, and then she became employed as cabin crew. So don't let anybody put you off doing what you want to do and stuff. I think my life might have been different as well if I hadn't got in with the wrong relationships. Really, you know, I was in quite a lot of long relationships that long and wrong relationships that prevented me from doing things. I wanted to be an archaeologist, of all things, you know. I wanted to go to France on an archaeological dig, and I was told no. And then I wanted to be in NAFAS, you know, not NAFAS, the NAFI. NAFAS is the Florist Association, and the NAFI is the army. And I wanted to be in the NAFI, and all I got was, who's put this crap in your head? And so I was stopped, and I allowed it. I disrespected myself, and I allowed it. So there's another thing: don't disrespect yourself. So yeah, I can only advise as a mum. I'm not a worldly lady. Do you know what I mean? And I hope you do well in your life, Sarah or Sarah. Sorry, I'm not sure which. Right. So now, Em's Nails, hi, and she says, what TV movies do you enjoy? TV and movies do you enjoy? So I enjoy Grey's Anatomy. That's what I'm watching at the minute. I absolutely love it, Grey's Anatomy. As for movies, I love gritty stuff, and I love the mafia. You know, anything on the mafia I will watch. Anything with Al Pacino I will watch. Absolutely love that man. Not really a rom-com girl, although reading a book I do like a chick lit. Yeah, I'm not a rom-com person. I don't like comedy really. I don't like sitcoms. I just can't bear them. You know, Kim loves Friends. I can't bear it. I'm like, no. I don't like musicals. With the exception of The Greatest Showman. You know, I've never seen, I'm going to get shot for this. I've never seen Top Gun. I have never seen, what's the other one? Dirty Dancing. Never. Everyone's like, nobody puts baby in the corner, and I'm like, who the hell's baby? You know, which corner is it? You know, I haven't got a clue. But yeah, I like gritty stuff, and I love a good gritty British movie, you know. Not so much modern ones, more like Michael Caine ones. I love Michael Caine. And I like old-fashioned ones really as well. Like I love Dora Bryan. Is it Dora Bryan in A Taste of Honey? Absolutely love that film. I like I've forgotten his name now. He's a bloody fantastic. Kathy Come Home. He did that, and he also did I Am David Blake. That was another one. I've forgotten who he is. He always does hard hitting films. So yeah, those are the type of films. I love series. So I that's what I'm watching at the minute is Grey's Anatomy, and it's a medical drama in Seattle. And you've got all your favourite characters. So really, you're following your favourite characters, but each week that you watch, you know, it's got a different drama with different patients and stuff. But it's absolutely fabulous, and I bloody love it. I got Maxine into it, and she loves it too. So yeah, and Kim watches it as well. We're on the last two now. So Helen, hi Helen. Helen asked, what happened that year? And I'm assuming, Helen, that you mean 1995. Because I always say on the channel, don't I, 1995 was the best year of my life. And it really, really was. I've already touched on the fact that I was in bad relationships, and I was in some terrible, lousy relationships. But the worst one was terrible, you know, and I was in it for 6.5 years. And in 1995, I'd had enough, you know. I was about 6.5 stone in weight. I was I suffered terrible anxiety, you know, really, really bad. Yeah, it was awful. I'm not going to go into details. And my mum lived, sorry about that squeaking. Sorry about that squeaky, but that little squeak there. Some things stick in your throat, don't they? You know what I mean? My mum lived in Wales at the time. And I'd had enough. I'd had enough, you know. And so I ran off. I literally ran away. And I ran to my mum's. It's not the first time I'd run to hers either. You know, I'd ran during that relationship. I'd ran to my mum's. But this time I meant it, you know. I thought, no, stuff this, I'm off. I just couldn't cope anymore. So I packed a bag and I went to my mum's, and I stayed there for such a long time because I needed to recover and I needed to heal. I have got some photographs and I wish I could find them, because it starts off, I'm very sallow in my face, you know, I'm very skinny. I'm like, you know, my neck was like a lollipop stick and my head was the lollipop. I'm very skinny. And you can see there's 3 of these photographs in the same spot, in the same, and you can see how I got better. So I was there for about 4 or 5 months with my mum. And I remember needing to come and get my trainers from home, and I was like, I need my trainers, and my mum was coming up to see our Donna, and I said, oh, I'll come with you because I need my trainers. And I got I got up towards Cheshire, and I was like, nah, sack that, I'm not going home, I'm not going back, I'll buy some. So that's what I did. I bought the trainers, and yeah. So yeah, and when I did come back, I was 9.5 stone, 9 stone 7, yeah, 9.5 stone. And you know, even my friend, one of my friends who lived opposite me, she didn't even recognise me in the shop. I bumped into her in the shop and she didn't even recognise me. But yeah, that was the best year of my life, because I got rid of, and I've never been in a relationship like that since, you know. I walked away from it, thank God that I was able to walk away from it safely, you know, because I know there's many that can't. And you know, I walked away from it, and I became a hell of a lot wiser for it, I'll tell you that. Yeah, well, maybe I didn't become, because I still carried on messing about for a bit. But anyway, so that was the best year. You know, I was away in Wales and it was absolutely beautiful. That summer was the best tan in the world. I met some amazing people, real amazing people. That's some are still friends to this day, one in particular. Yeah, I did. I had the best year of my life. Emancipation. Right, so then the very last one, and I really like this one, is whose poster did you have on your wall when you were a teenager? Pop or band, etc. Well, I loved all the men that wore makeup. I really did. So I loved Boy George, Tasty Tim, Pete Burns, Marilyn. There was another one, I'm sure there was. But they all wore makeup, didn't they? And I loved them, so they were all over my walls. My sister had things like people like Duran Duran, Wham, you know. I loved them too, I really did. You know, I used to nip next door. We used to write, we used to get jotters. You know, we would write everything we knew about our favourite pop people, you know, in these books. You know, that's how we passed our time when we were kids. Playing the music in the bedroom on our Donna's hi-fi. Amstrad hi-fi. So yeah, I loved all, you know, Boy George. I was listening to Boy George yesterday, actually. Culture Club. I was listening to him yesterday in the car. So yeah, Culture Club, Boy George, Marilyn. Marilyn was kind of like Boy George's rival sort of thing, wasn't he? And Tasty Tim, I think he passed away. Divine, that was the other one. Divine, yeah. Was it Divine that passed away? Tasty Tim and Pete Burns, and he's passed away now as well, hasn't he? He wrecked himself, he did, you know, with all that plastic surgery, I think. But I loved all those. I loved them all, and I just loved their colourful ways, you know, especially Boy George, you know, with all how he used to dress and stuff. I loved it. And I love their makeups, you know. So yeah, so that is all the questions, and I hope that I haven't dwelled too much on one thing and you know, not enough on another, and I hope it's been enjoyable for you. It is just sitting listening to somebody, really, isn't it? And like I say, it is quite self-indulgent. I never want to come across self-righteous, and if I have, I apologise. So thank you so much for all your questions. I have enjoyed it. I have been on the spot a little bit, and I've answered as honestly as I could. Right, okay, so you take care. I'll see you all on Sunday for Meals of the Week, and thank you so much for watching if you have watched. And yeah, if there's anybody else with any questions, or if I've missed any questions out, you know, if you remember that you've asked me a question and I've missed it out, then I apologise. And if you give me a nudge, I'll be sure to answer it. So thank you so much. Take care, and I'll see you all on Sunday for Meals of the Week, and then I'll be back on Tuesday. So take care. Bye.